Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the eastern wing of the Stink Bug Works. I'm still slowly plugging away at the Skedaddle Junior, and tomorrow, I won't be able to work on boats. I have to go watch somebody drill a 50-foot hole in the ground. Maybe we'll go deeper, but we're going to go at least 50 feet. So we're going to dig a big old hole in the ground. Anyway, I've sanded the bottom edges even with these stringers now. I'm sure glad I went to basswood on these stringers. It's much better to sand to balsa wood would just flex and vaporize and it wouldn't be there. Anyway, you can see that the motor isn't sliding around. That's because it's almost, but not quite, mounted. I put a little tab here to support the back of the motor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little strip and I'll glue it in there just that much above. You know, I'm going to basically put it in here and glue that stick in so that way it can drop in. And what I did here was I took some standoffs, some brass standoffs, and I epoxied them into some plywood, and then I sanded the plywood to where it was flush, bolted it all together, and then these will get glued down to here. I cut some slits, and here's something interesting I noticed. Right here, the glue joint is stronger than the wood. It truly is. The wood would break away and the glue joint wouldn't. So that's why I like this epoxy. The glue joint's stronger than the wood. So this little motor will drop in here. When I flipped it around onto this plate, it's not quite square. The mounting holes aren't evenly spaced, but I have room. I can move this, that I can get it centered, get the drive centered about the boat. You can see this one motor sits about 1/16 of an inch higher than that motor. Remember, I did this 30 years ago. I didn't have the precision equipment I do today. This was done with, I think the most sophisticated thing I had, it might have been the drill press. I might have had the drill press when I made this. And that was my most sophisticated piece of equipment. So that's how the motor will mount. Now, you know what? I've been thinking, and you know, there's a problem brewing when I've been thinking. If you'll notice this deck, they give you a couple of little slits here. And what's happening is the front part of the deck is curved, but then this portion right here between these two slits is actually flat and comes up like this. And the full-size boat that did that, it was supposed to be a windscreen of sorts. There was no windscreen on them. Although it might look kind of cool with a windscreen. I'll think about that. But as this slopes up, the original boats were fiberglass. A guy named Hallett made it. It was the Hallett SK boat. And they became real popular because they were good to ski behind because they were flat bottoms, so it didn't leave a whole lot of wake. So they're good for skiing, and they made great drag boats. So if you notice here on this deck, it overhangs this bulkhead by quite a bit. And so I'm thinking with my plan to drop in interior and with the motors up against this bulkhead, the more I can have hiding this motor arrangement, the better, the more I like it. So my interior, I may actually, and see this back deck actually goes beyond there. So my interior, my drop-in interior is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. And with if I can push this deck back and get an overhang here, I can put a dummy instrument panel underneath here and look kind of cool. And so we'll just have to see how it develops. I'll tell you what I've been thinking about. And here's a real problem. I've been thinking about, like, on the full-size boats that didn't have an engine sticking out, they had doors that would open up, and there would be your engine in there. Have doors that open up, and there would be, like, the batteries and such. Or I'm going to make a drop-in interior, if I can. We'll have to see. I could also cut a hole in here and make a drop-in engine bay, so I could have a cool looking engine for display, and then a quick and dirty engine for running that doesn't have all little breakable things hanging off of it, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Have a simple dummy engine, or just a hatch cover for running and for display. Have a big old, I think a small block Chevy with unit boats used to run all the time. You'd sit on boats all the time. Tunnel rams. You'd see a lot of tunnel rams on boats. I'm scratching my head thinking, a dummy tunnel ram small block. Okay, now let's go one step further. This boat is about 18 inches, give or take. The full-size Hallett SK boat was 17 feet, 11 and a half inches. Let's just call it 18 feet. 18 feet to 18 inches is 1/12 scale. 1/12 scale engine. 1/12 scale driver. 1/12 scale instrument panel. Somehow hide this motor arrangement, and the driver may have to have one of his legs cut off to clear this box in here, but that's just the way it goes, So there's some thinking. These bulkheads get built up a little bit, so that's actually going to be the height of the deck there. You see, it's got a square edge here for this little drop-down thing that's going to happen right there, like that. So, there you go, boys and girls. Until next time, which might be a few days, jut out.